23 degrees. No, not when it's like 33 degrees out there. You okay? What? Yeah? You're the boss, Teslin. I'm just...
Alright guys, we're getting in this boat.
Oh, I'm...
Nice rock here, so you kind of just use this. Swing your legs over.
I'm gonna give a nice safety talk, right? That's all you need. Life jacket tightening you've done on your poor father there. Look how sideways it is. Fix it. Hard to like set those to...
Ooh, that's hot.
Oh yeah, the metal will melt you.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Hey Jamie, I'm catching you on the back end. Yeah, they can go on the back.
Yeah. swim where I'm pointing. All right, don't think too much. I'm always going to be pointing the positive direction. Right, so if you see me shouting something or other with a big look on my face, all right, and I'm pointing a direction, just roll onto your stomach, stop your defense from swimming, all right, and swim as hard as you can that way. While on your self-guided tour, right, there's basically 3 features that you might have to go through: waves, whirlpools, and boils. Okay, so waves are the main thing, and my best advice for swimming through waves is to breathe at the bottom of them. Okay, our waves are going to come one after another, often like 10 or 12 in a row. Okay, and you can't actually breathe at the top of the waves because that's when they're crashing over your head. Okay, so you hold your breath, take your breath into the bottom, hold your breath as you rise through the top, the wave will crash over you. All right, as you drop into the next wave, you can take your next breath and just rinse and repeat like that. Normally, if you guys don't figure it out by the 2nd or 3rd wave, you figure it out by the 4th or 5th. Okay, after a nice couple breaths at the top. The other 2 features, boils and whirlpools, are a bit scary. All right, they basically try to pull you underneath the surface. Okay, so if you do feel yourself start to get pulled under the river, just try and stay calm. Right? This is a little bit of grim advice, but it works really well. You're just going to curl up into a nice, neat little ball, okay, and think happy thoughts. All right, go to your happy place. The absolute best thing is to remain calm. All of you on this boat can hold your breath for 10 or 15 seconds minimum. Up in a neat little ball. It takes like 2, 3. All right, whatever it is will pull you under. The main current of the river will push you out of that feature, and your life jacket will pop you up to the surface. All right. Awesome. And then after you've done that, take a nice couple deep breaths. All right, look around and listen to me or test. Most of the time, if you're in the water, we're just going to be telling you to swim back to the boat. All right. But if you have swam through a rapid, and then we go to pick you up, it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. You're going to think we're abandoning you. All right. We're actually going to drive way past you. Okay, so you're floating along. We're going to rip downstream of you like we're leaving you behind. Normally we're not. All right. And then we're going to turn around, and you're going to think we're going to drive you over. Again, well, no promises about Tesla, but I'm normally not. All right. And then at the last second, we're going to turn the boat to the side. All right. So you're going to drift right into that outside hand line again, the blue and white line. Grab on, and we'll pull you back in. Sweet. Any questions about swimming? No, we're laughing. Perfect. 2 more things we're going to talk about. Okay, so normally the main problem we have on this raft, all right, is engine problems. They're pretty reliable, but they're not quite as reliable as, say, a guide's arms, which power those lovely boats. Okay, so occasionally we have engine problems. If that happens, whatever boat is having the problem will blow their whistle, give a big signal like this, all right, and that basically means join up. All right, so a join up is when we bring the rafts side by side exactly like how they are now. So you can see they're right next to each other. Oh, that was almost it for me. That would have been awesome. Okay, so they're right next to each other. And then you guys would basically zipper them together. Okay, so everybody on this side of the boat, you'd lay onto your stomach. The boat's pretty hot, you don't have to do it now. But you'd lay on your stomach, all right, like this, reach across to the other boat, and grab onto that boat's blue and white line. All right, you guys would be holding the rafts together. You folks on this side, what you can do is hold them into the raft. Right, they'll be on their stomachs, grab onto their ankles, especially because I don't have anyone on my boat. If we do a join up, there's going to be a lot of force on you guys, all right? Especially if we're maneuvering through some strong current. And with that boat, if it's drifting away, we'll try to pull you under the water, or out of the boat rather. So make sure you grab their ankles and pull them in. And then once we get to shore, we'll figure out what the problem is, get it fixed, and keep going, or we'll make Tesla do a motor change, all right? On the last week. Under 2 minutes. That's mandatory. Under a minute, I thought it was. Last thing we talk about is flips. Okay, so if your boat does flip today, it's going to be super exciting. All right, maybe a little bit too exciting, right? And you can basically end up in one of 2 spots, right? You're either in the outside of the raft in a big pool party with all your new rafting friends, or you're in a really weird room, okay, with white walls and a blue roof. Yes, it means you're underneath the raft. So if you are under the raft, it's actually, surprisingly, it's not actually a very bad place to be. There's a big air pocket that forms here. You can grab onto this inside hand line. It'll be up by your ear. Hold on, take your breaths. All the hazards are at the back of the boat. Okay, some of that stuff might come loose. We've got the guide line, gas line, the battery has a wire. All right, all that stuff will be dangling. All right, and that motor is very persistent. It'll run for about a minute and a half upside down underwater. Okay, before it drowns itself out. So wait for the engine to die, all right, before you start moving, or hopefully Tesla to be up on top of the upside down raft, banging on the floorboards, telling you to make your way to the front. All right, so you can walk hand over hand until you're up at this splashboard. All right, either will have cut the splashboard loose, all right, so it's totally flat and you can just fall right out, or you're gonna have to be a little bit brave, all right, and you'll have to push yourself under the splashboard, all right, and pop out on the other side and get attached to the outside of the raft. All right, if you're where most people would end up in a flip on the outside, all right, treat it exactly like I did a regular swim. Okay, roll onto your stomach, swim hard back to the boat, get attached. All right, Tesla will start pulling people up, get everybody up on top of the raft, and then we're gonna do a right side up, upside down, join up, get to shore, all right, and figure out how to rewrite this raft. Sounds good? We all want to go rafting? All right, let's go. You guys are melting to death. You want it? That's the safe bar right there. You guys are doomed.
We're in the rowdy zone. Hang on.
Just leave us already.
Yeah, bye guys. Have a good time.
Kitchen not getting work.
Hey? No. You can hang on to the blue white line.
Cheeky one? Oh wow. You can see a huge bighorn sheep up on the hill, guys, there. A full curl. Two big males.
Oh yeah, don't go there, you dumb.
There is, hey? We'll see. Probably not. Impossible, yeah.
It's the, what do you think? Stand on the train line.
Actually, there was.
I remember the first
we
time we
were
were in
Kitchen Land Track down there.
He had the biggest smile on his face ever. Yeah, he was so I was terrified.
I'm like, what are these silly kids?
No, but I get to do a Q&A session with invisible people online.
Oh, I got my phone. I can watch.
Oh, perfect. Teslin, if you're close enough that you can hear me talking to the internet people, you're too close.
Yeah, but the males have
Yeah. Oh yes. Big rams.
You got a little laptop show.
I've got all sorts of excitement here. This is the Starlink. Yeah, it's craziness. Yeah. It's quite the setup here.
I want to see what they're gonna do.
When I was a raft guy, we got 2 tin cans for this.
Hello everyone. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. But it's Trey again, I'm back. Cheeky Q&A. It's an absolutely money day out there. Teslin is behind me. She's got, I think, 11 people on her boat. J-rigging. A lot of her family actually out on the water today. Yeah, so any questions you guys have, hit me. And I'll get to as many as I can. I'll try and do a good job today of like filming when Teslin's going through rapids. I'd heard Connor went swimming with the mic yesterday, which is just completely classic. But surprisingly, still running. Seems like a bit of a miracle, really, but they probably knew that I was going to be here today, and it didn't want to break for me. Rafting the rapids solo. I don't know, it's very different. It also depends, like I'm leading right now as the safety boat, so I still have to run the correct line, like even regardless of if I have guests on my boat, because Teslin, who's behind me, just started this year, so she's not qualified to lead the trips on her own yet, so she has to follow where I go. So I need to go in the right spot. If you're following as the safety boat, it depends on the guide. Most of the time though, I'll take a little bit of a smaller line to try and stay a bit drier. It's easier on the equipment. When you're in an empty boat, you're so light, right? So you go up the waves and kind of slam down over and over again, which can be hard on the boats. I don't know, I really like safety boating, personally. It's a lot of fun. But I don't know, it would get a bit boring for sure, safety boating all the time. Never having anyone on your raft to chat with. But depending on I mean, sometimes it's so much fun wanting to get a group just absolutely soaked. I also feel safety boating, you get a bit of, I don't know, when it's so quiet, you know what I mean, and you're not always focused on entertaining, you kind of get to see the area a little bit better. I feel like often, if you've got like 10 people on your raft the whole time, you don't really get as much time to, I don't know, like appreciate where you are and the river, and I don't know, we saw some big bighorn earlier and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys saw that, I probably should have pointed it out. But there was two big rams, big male bighorn, basically full curl, like where their horns are done a full 360, which is not all that common to actually see all the way down by the river here. It is like a scorcher today though. It's probably 35 degrees, 34 degrees here. The river's like 20. It's pretty lush really. Sorry, I just check the stream every now and again to see who's tuned in. I'm always curious what, I don't know, when the live stream was first talked about, like as an idea, it was surprising to me. Just because I didn't really know, I don't know, who would, like I guess who would watch it or, but it's doing awesome. I mean the live stream, and it's really cool actually being on the boat live streaming as well. Look, everyone on Teslan's boat getting their gear on. I don't know. I like my favorite part of the trip before the gorge. There's a crazy spider web on you. I don't know. I think about you guys. You're this camera, just so you know. To me, that's like where you live. Everyone on the screen. I feel like often the guests feel like the Devil's Gorge is like far and away the best part of the trip, but some people prefer like the quieter floating spots or swimming. I love swimming with my guests, like especially on a paddle raft. Like if people get really keen and everyone's doing flips off the raft, and I guess as the guide sometimes I'll hop in. That is so much fun. Like being out on the river. Often in the gorge, I'm so focused on not crashing, you know what I mean? Or flipping, or like making it easy for the boats behind me and the boats in front of me. That you're not, I don't know, you don't get to enjoy it as much. Also, I think most of my favorite rapids are after the gorge. Or like at high water, Conception Bay. In June is like maybe the biggest rapid on the river. There's like 4 or 5 massive waves that form right there. But I think entire year, my favorite rapid is not in the gorge. It's always after, like Washing Machine right now might be my favorite, or maybe even Terminator. Bad Attitude is my favorite, like through most of our middling levels. This rapid, I guess, doesn't really have a real name. It's just kind of call it $1 Million Mile or Side Hill Gouger, some people call it. I suspect you guys have heard that story about the Side Hill Gougers. That's a classic. What do you guys prefer as well on the stream? I'm kind of curious. Like people that watch, do you rather like this where it's empty? You know what I mean? And it's just the guide and everyone on the stream and you guys are kind of chatting? Or is it better when there's all the guests on the boat and you're just kind of like a fly on the wall listening to the guide talk with the guests? Because I guess more often than not, we do have guests on this boat. Check. This is one of my favorite stretches before the gorge. It's like entirely flat, basically no matter what time of year. Above Jack's Rock, or people call it Side Hill Gougers. I don't know if you can see up on the hill there. Bunch of gouges. We do flip drills in this section of water with the paddle boats, like practice flipping, which is often a lot of fun. Or on our really big paddle trips, this is where a lot of water wars get started. People splashing each other. One of our guides, Ty Jaw, often brings a water gun. a true menace he is. Yeah, I kind of figured it would be more, I don't know, more entertaining, like watching the guests get smashed. Not smashed. I always pick such violent words. Getting like soaked going through the rapids. Than it is just like watching me sit quietly on the boat. Yeah, I have done this. I guess someone in the chat. Yeah, I have done this twice now. I guess it's not more common. Eh? It's way more common when we have guests. And I don't know, do I have a favorite between paddle and power depending on the time of year? Well, at high water, we do close, right? Or not close, but we close paddle rafting. We still do power rafting, basically all year, or all summer, including the shoulder seasons. But yeah, paddling closes at high water just because it's a bit too hectic. Like power rafting at high water is a very unique experience, I would say. Just surely because of the size of the features, it just doesn't exist anywhere else. The way that it forms at high water, we get whirlpools that are 20 feet in diameter that we're rafting through. It's just ridiculous, to be honest. So like that time of year, I think power rafting is incredible. I think as it gets lower, paddling gets more and more fun. Just because more little features crop up, I would say. Like starting at around 30,000 cubic feet, we start getting a lot of little side hits. We call them like little waves formed by rocks off on either side of the river. So it's a lot of fun, like darting back and forth, just finding as many of those hits as you can. And like seeking out the little stuff like that, which doesn't really exist at high water. Like high water paddling, it's more of a game of survival. I think there was one more question. rapid. I don't know, it changes all the time. I would say bad attitude. I saw someone also says their favorite is bad attitude. Basically from 45,000 all the way down to like 20,000, maybe 24,000. Bad attitude has the biggest waves on the river. And like middle of the year, like 50,000, 60,000, one of the rocks in bad attitude makes this absolutely monstrous wave that we kind of run in powerboats sometimes, but is just an incredible feature just to look at because of how big it is. And I just like watching how much it changes. And even now, it's still really good. It's this really, really tight V now, like a narrow chute. Yeah, the river's right around, someone asked what the level was. Yeah, it's right around 17,000 cubic feet, which is for sure for us here. Just insane to think that that could be low water on any river. This? In the rapids, sorry. We'll see. I think hopefully the angle's better now. We'll see. Yeah, I just got that text, Temp. Can I reposition the camera? Is this a bit better? Or more towards more like this? Or as soon as the camera angle started pointing down, guys, I got about 900 texts from all across the globe telling me to reposition it. Hopefully, is this better now? That kind of feels like what it started as. I'm not really sure what changed it, but hopefully it's all fine now. That's good. Nice. I toiled over that camera. Yeah, low water for us here. It's more on high water and low water. I just think the biggest plus of high water rafting is seeing the power of the river and just how impressive it can actually get. Because, I mean, at 100,000 CFS, the river it's ridiculous. Getting close to the gorge now. Getting real close. Oh my god, the camera keeps moving. I'm not sure. I'm no filmographer, guys. I just steer the raft. But right here, that's Checkpoint Rock. You need a stomach for rides. We almost never have people that get seasick on the ride. Like if you're someone prone to seasickness, I've never had any problems like that on the rafters. Maybe that's because people that are prone to seasickness just straight up do not come rafting. But I've had one person in like 150 trips get sick on the boat. And other than that, it's never been a problem. And yeah, it's very, very uncommon. Holy, lots of text now. I like the questions. Can you turn off the GoPro at the bow? Can do. When will the river's flow get stronger? The river will only get lower. So I feel like on a lot of rivers, they talk about like strong versus weak, or like the early season is as good as it gets. I think this is off now. Because most other rivers in June, at their peak flood is when they're at their best. And for us, that's just not really the case. It's good all year. And I'd say maybe 12,000 cubic feet per second is better than it is at 17,000. Like bigger waves, or there's a couple rapids just get absolutely massive. What do I do in the off season? That's a great question. I've done a couple different things. I think I'd say this last time. And most of the time I work as a scuba dive guide. Or doing other. I've worked in Indonesia doing work like that. And this last winter I actually went to university. I went to firefighting school at the Justice Institute to get my 1001, like your structural firefighting ticket to become a municipal firefighter, which is definitely the long-term plan. If my love of rafting ever goes dry, it seems unlikely, to be honest. Oh, nice, a pole. Also, well, isn't guest rafting is the same as fly on the wall? I kind of figured guest rafting would be the same, because fly on the wall is like when you have guests. Anyway, who knows? Chat with a raft guide. Only a quarter of you guys like chatting with me, hey? That's okay. I'm a bit butthurt. But if you put other, what is it that you like to see? I guess because we're just kind of in the beginning stages of the live stream. I don't know. I'm just freeballing here. I figured we want as much feedback as possible about like what could make it better. What do you guys enjoy? What do you not like? This is tadpole, by the way. This is the frog. See, like the camera keeps on bumping down. I'm not really sure how to fix that. This is already tightened all the way. Anyway, I guess I'll just keep adjusting it for you guys. And if I seem rather inexperienced, or rather experienced, to have only 150 trips, I don't know, 150 trips is a fair bit, I would say. It's because we only do one trip a day, you can imagine it's 150 river days. So I only work 5 days a week, so I can get a maximum of 20 a month. So that's like, I've every single day for like 8 months straight over the course of 3 years. Frog wave. Hopefully my mic didn't get too wet there. Yeah, but certainly, I mean, there's some guides Your first year, I think it kind of is slow going. You don't get as many trips because you have to do so much training still. Yeah, but now I'm signed off as a trip leader, so I'm like the highest, I don't know, not experience level, but there's no like official title higher than me in terms of on the river. But I mean, we've got guys that Kumsheen like Taija, who I'm sure you've seen. He's been working here 12 years. He's got probably close to 800 trips. Or like Teslin back there, I think she'll probably only hit 30 this year, maybe 40. In my first year, I probably got it right around 30 trips. But we did have a lot more rookies that year, so there wasn't quite as much river days to go around. Funny. Get a lot. Like, I have so much to learn. I mean, I learn every day still rafting here. And not just a little bit, like so much. The learning curve is very vertical. I mean, like Teslin now, so she's behind us, guiding a boat full of 11 people. She's entirely responsible for, and 2 months ago, well, no, not 2 months ago. I guess in April, she'd never driven a power boat before. Sorry, I know there's lots of questions coming through. I partly have to think about rafting here. How do we choose which side of Frog to go down? That's actually a sweet question. It changes all the time. Mostly, the simplest answer that it boils down to is which side is more fun. Like, which side will be better for the guests? So there's a while where the best side's on the left, and at higher water we actually rerun the Frog on the left, where it's a much bigger channel, just these massive waves one after another that we just hit over and over again. And then as it gets a bit lower, that left side just gets a bit less fun. The wave gets smaller and smaller, and then we start running the right because there's all those whirlpools. Soon, actually, we'll switch back again and start running the left, because a bunch of rocks crop up and they make some good waves, and it just gets better and better. All right, this is the Devil's Kitchen. Frog, especially on the left and at higher water, is one of the more technical lines we run. Not the most technical ever. Not the most technical river ever, but definitely a more technical line. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. You're staring at the ground again. So sad. Same with cutting board. Like we basically run whichever side of cutting board is more fun until the right side becomes a bit too awesome, a bit too much fun. And commercially, I'd say the left side at lower water is more fun just because the right side, I mean, the line you'd have to hit would be so narrow that if it's going well, you're not actually getting that big of a splash. And if you are getting a big splash, something's gonna go wrong. Yeah, hopefully I'm here for a while. I love Kumsheen. I love rafting the Thompson River, and nothing compares. Whenever I'm not doing it, I miss it. Sometimes in the heat of season, after doing like 20 trips in a row, and occasionally I'm like, oh man, you get burned out, right? So busy all the time. But it's like 2 days off, and right away, all I want is to be out rafting again. Also, yeah, no, I didn't fill my bottle up from the river. You guys are mistaken. I've been down this road before. I can see an osprey flying right in front of us. Maybe you can't see it. I'll have to fix you guys. Do I have burritos for lunch every day? You bet I do. Don't be jealous. Pretty much every single day. Yeah, when I'm rafting, I'm eating a burrito. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get sick of them. I'll let you know if I do, but yeah, like 3 years going on a burrito basically every day. The days I don't get burritos are the bad days. I'm just fantasizing about them. is Cauldron. I'd say the most consistent rapid on the Thompson. Not one single time of year you could come and not get a splash there. This is probably our biggest wave of the day. Comes of life. Yeah, it's monstrous. You'll hopefully be able to see. I suspect we'll hit that wave and then you guys will start staring at the ground again. And I'll have to fix you. But we'll see, maybe we'll get lucky. This wave is really cool. Two features on either side of it push all the water into the middle of the river. And you just get this massive, very peaky, very like triangular haystacking wave. Good. I would say, honestly, not quite as big as I was expecting. But if that's happening, that normally means Jaws is a bit bigger. But we'll see, no promises. Watch this, fix you guys on the fly. Professional raft guy. Jaws looked all right. Yeah, certainly behind me they're getting annihilated. I guess I'll find out later if you guys did put anything for other or for stuff about the live stream that you guys. Why did I choose the DJI mic I'm using? Oh my friend, those type of decisions are so far above my position on the totem pole of Kumsheen, it would blow you away. Yeah, no, I did not choose it. But yeah, hopefully the quality is pretty good on it. No, I'm pretty far away from the live stream side of things. I think they're nervous about me breaking the equipment. And fair enough. Yeah, we do see a lot of wildlife. It's awesome. Oh yeah, someone asked a long time ago what my favorite thing to see is. I would say, I don't know. My favorite thing to see that we see, like maybe not commonly, but is not uncommon to see, like nobody would go crazy if you saw it, is coyotes. I love to see coyotes by the side of the river. Like I'm from the city. I live in Surrey, originally Surrey, BC. And the coyotes we get there are embarrassing compared to the size of the coyotes out here. So I know I really like to see the coyotes out here. I just think it's awesome. How big they are, and I've seen coyotes swim across the river. in certain spots. Yeah, bears, obviously, I mean, that's definitely what all the guests want to see, especially if they're not from Canada, they've never seen a bear before. Everyone's like, all right, where's the bear? Yeah, black bears are awesome. Cinnamon bears we get, which are really cool, like these ginger orange colored bears. What's one downside to the, sorry, wait, I'm getting a lot of questions. I have to look and see which one I need to read here. Why are some rapids bigger than others? What makes a rapid? Oh, my friend, you need to take our guide school. I think river hydrology on rivers is so interesting. And just like some of the shapes rivers make, just seemingly out of the blue. So rapids on rivers are formed by three things can make a rapid, all right? Gradient, okay, which is the river getting steeper, all right? Constriction, right, which is the river getting narrower, or in some cases shallower as well, narrower and shallower. And obstruction, which is like, say, a rock blocking the river. Those are the things that form river features. And normally you need a combination of some. Hopefully I'm not too close to the camera and jump scaring you guys. Bumper boats! Just try me. Yeah, but normally you need some combination of those. So for example, right, I'll drive upstream a little bit. I like talking about this stuff. I'll turn around. When I turn around, you're actually going to see the narrowest point on our entire river. All right? It's called Piqua Canyon. So right here, right where our boat is basically now, there's walls right here, walls right here. It's so narrow, but you can see there's no whitewater, even though this is the most extreme constriction on the whole Thompson. And that is because it's really, really deep here. So it's about 70 feet deep, even this time of year. You can imagine, even though it's really narrow, because it's so deep, that water actually doesn't have to move all that fast. All right, and the speed of the water is normally what makes those features more and more dramatic, because that water's hitting into each other, or obstacles, or the walls, or has to change direction faster and faster, which makes little imperfections, right, in the water's flow bigger and bigger, eventually making waves and stuff. So the reason that some rapids are bigger than others is normally, well, any combination of those three things is more dramatic. So it's way steeper than another rapid. It's way narrower than another rapid, or there's more obstructions in the water. So on our river, because there's so much flow, very few of our rapids are obstruction rapids, like formed by big rocks. Like, so Frog, I guess some people would think of it as an obstruction rapid, right? Because there's that huge rock blocking the river. But you can kind of think of each of those channels as two separate rivers. And on the left channel, it's actually more of a constriction and a gradient rapid. It's really steep. And that whole river has to pack itself through that narrow gap on one side of Frog. Most rivers on the Thompson are constriction rapids. The river gets narrower, often just because there's some shallower water on one side of the river. It makes it narrow on the left. Oh, there's a duck there. He's got a fish in his mouth, actually. Here, watch this. Cameraman filming. I don't know if you guys can see that little duck swimming along, but he's got a fish in his mouth, which is kind of awesome. Oh man, did I press a bad button? Probably not, right? Yeah, sorry, big rabbit hole. But that's how rapids are formed. And that's why some can get bigger or smaller. What's one downside to the Thompson River? Doesn't exist, I fear. I don't know. Some might say I'm biased just because I work for a company that rafts on the Thompson River. And we're hoping that you're going to come rafting with us, but I don't think so. I think I'm as impartial as it gets. I guess I truly believe this. I think the guest experience like the joy that a guest gets out of it, there's no river that I've ever heard of where you get to have a better time. I think perhaps from a guiding standpoint, like for my job, there's other rivers that would be more demanding on your guiding skills, that would require more technical moves to be made, because there's a lot more hazards, right? You spend more of your time dodging big rocks, all right, and dodging trees and stuff that are really quite dangerous, honestly, for people in the boat. But because we have so few of those, most of the challenge as a guide comes from your own choice to make it challenging. Like, I am gonna try to like work really hard to make it over to river left here so I can get a big splash, rather than just floating down the main stream because I can. Like one big challenge on our river, guiding wise, is staying in the fast moving water, because our trip timing remains the same whether the river's flowing at 80,000 cubic feet per second or 20,000 cubic feet per second. So the river's moving 4 times slower, but we still get to the takeout at the same time. So you can imagine as a guide, you have to work really, really hard to get there. And you have to be rowing downstream the whole time. I say really, really hard. Not really, you just have to be paying attention to the speed of the water you're in. Even right in front of us, you can see it's kind of tricky, right? Right on river right, there's an eddy, right, where the water's basically not moving at all. And on river left, there's kind of another eddy and a narrow V. But in front of us, the river starts to swirl, and there's not actually all that much downstream moving water. So what kind of a decision you have to make as the guide here is, do I want to point my boat right and row? This is mostly I'm talking about paddle rafting, or point my boat left and row. And it looks pretty similar, but here, if you're pushing right, actually a lot more of that water is flushing downstream slowly. All right, so that's one of the biggest learning curves on our river. And that I guess you could say is a downside, but I don't know, maybe the wind. It's windy on this river, but I love the wind. It just makes the rapids seem bigger. Is camping allowed along the river? Not if you get caught. I'm the wrong person to ask about that. I have camped along the river. But I'm not sure if it's actually allowed. I think a lot of it is public land. Like everything below a high water mark on a river is publicly owned. So you should, I'm no lawyer, but my understanding is you are allowed to camp on public land basically anywhere, as long as you don't stay there for more than 2 weeks or build anything. But we don't offer that as a company, if that's what you're asking. Like we don't do multi-day trips. Watch this. Now I'm gonna borrow a pair of sunglasses. Just watch this technique here. Ah! Tesla, do you have an extra pair of sunglasses? Emergency backup sunglasses? Mine are missing. No. Do you have any regular ones? Beautiful. No, those are awesome. Those are the ones I want. Those pink ones. Those are perfect. Here, let's see the join up. Alan's got it.
Good practice.
What if Teslin falls ill and my motor dies? Who's gonna? I'm counting on you to save me. Oh, here, this is perfect. Let's see it. In motion, throw him. No, too fast, too fast. We're all good, we're all good. Oh, that's a vet move right there. That's I know, yeah, these ones are different, eh? And the shallow drive position on them is real weird as well, like right in the middle to flip them up and down. It's pretty funny. Oh.
I'm gonna let him drive that attitude.
Sure. Don't hit shore. Exactly. Don't even worry about it. It's all right. I told Tesla no matter what happens, it's on her.
Yeah.
I said you could drive anything. No, eh? Hopefully you guys like my sunglasses. What do you think? Money? Very stylish. Teslin's got quite the sunglass collection going. Teslin's dad, who's on that trip, is an old raft guide at Kumsheen. What's next on the trip? This is Bad Attitude. One of our ever-changing rapids. This one's getting kind of out of its prime now, starting to get a little bit smaller. Oh, I'm wearing glasses now, but the one thing I don't like about glasses, or most glasses, is you cannot see through the water nearly as well. So it's way harder to see rocks. But my optometrist says I'm gonna go blind. All right, let's get some airtime here, guys. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that attitude. You can see in front of us, you can imagine kind of how much this rapid would change. Oh, my water bottle. Oh my gosh. I don't know if someone on the stream noticed that or if that was just Sam who's texting me your questions. But thank you for saving me. I know I should be strapping it down, but I just like drinking from it so much. That was very nearly it for my water bottle, hey? Wow, the river's come down a ton actually. At least here it looks so different. My water bottle is saved. Oh, I'd be sad if I lost this bottle. It's kind of a part of me. Sorry, I know I've got a bunch of questions to get to. Let me have a look here. what happens at Kumsheen during the off season? Sorry, these are some old ones, but I'm gonna rip through them. We board it up. Basically, we take down all the temporary stuff gets taken down, and we board up all the windows and stuff to get ready for the wind and the snow of the winter. And oh, sorry. And yeah, we close down. We don't do any business. Most 95% of the staff, including myself, go home. Some of the ownership and some other people that feel like sticking around to help out do all that sort of stuff, like fixing rafts, patching boats, fixing outboard engines, kind of prepping for what's going to come. And yeah, things get real quiet. I love visiting. I saw nation for a couple days, and help out. I love visiting Kumsheen in the winter. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, but we're closed for business. Sorry, more questions. Is there a cam on all the rafts? I wish. I think, here's a question. I don't know, we're trying to get into paddle boat live streaming. I don't know if that's something you guys are keen on seeing, like a guide on a paddle boat. I guess they'd have the GoPro would just be on their head, on their helmet, that would film the whole time. And they'd be hot spotting it off their phone. I don't know how, I think we're still working out some kinks on that, but that's the plan. What's your favorite rapid? Well, yeah, I guess this is the answers to your guys' poll. Kitchen, Jaws, cutting board, the frog. Everyone that says kitchen, you're well educated. I think kitchen far and away is, obviously it depends on the water level, but this time of year and like in terms of size across all levels, kitchen around this time of year to like a little bit higher than it is right now is pretty much unbeatable. You! All right, plug your ears, everyone wearing headphones. Oh, I was gonna blow my whistle, but I won't do that to you. You like it's like my swimming river signal that I'm giving to Teslin? She doesn't seem to be acknowledging it. That's okay. I think last time I was on this Q&A, I did a what's what of river signals. I hope you guys like that. I feel like I was really working my heart out here. The thing about giving a river signal is you have to do it until you're acknowledged. So hopefully Teslin will acknowledge me soon so I don't look like such a maniac. Beautiful. A cheeky nod. No one's swimming? You better, now's the time. Gotta show Teslin who's boss every now and again. Swerve in front of her. What do we need? Start a fund to get a clip for your water well. I can afford a clip, almost, if I keep saving. I have a carabiner here, watch. Will this put everybody at ease? We can watch together. And that's why we have the mic tied down. I don't know if you guys saw that. It just went for a little tumble after I unclipped my carabiner. So this is Kumsheen Coaster. If you guys were out rafting commercially, you actually can swim through this rapid, but okay, let's watch. Ready? Carabiner, water bottle. The two have become one. It'll live right there, safe in view. So everyone can know, what do we need to rerun a rapid? That's a great question. Basically, just slow water. Slow water on one side of the river or the other, enough that we can drive back up towards the top of the rapid to hit it again. But other than that, that's it. And it has to be a rapid worth rerunning as well. But yeah, the requirements are fairly low. For reruns, and reruns come in and out, obviously, like everything does as the water level changes. But I try to rerun as much as possible. I just think it's so cool. It's one of the things that makes power rafting so unique. So on the trips I feel like that where I'm leading, one of my goals is just to get as many reruns in as possible. So I know it looks like I'm just scrolling on my phone, but this is me checking your guys' questions. Do private or commercial vessels ever come up on the river? Yes. Commercial vessels, not normally. We're basically the only company in BC that runs the Thompson consistently. Other companies occasionally come up and raft the Thompson, just for fun. Sorry, not just for fun, with guests, but normally it's after the rivers have dried out, and they do it very rarely. But private vessels all the time. In August, when their rivers are getting really low and our river is still super good, we have tons and tons of kayakers and private rafters that come out. We have groups pushing off from our put in every day, or almost every day, I would say, with people that own their own rafts and are comfortable guiding them. So sometimes that's a bit of a delicate area, especially, I mean, occasionally we'll have people that are looking to us to cover them on the water, but I mean, we're there for the guests, not for any weird other private rafters. But it happens all the time. Super, super common. And another question. You can look at Teslan's friends and family getting pulled up in the raft. Looking clear today. You are damn right it's looking clear. There is very little smoke today. It is so nice. It's a bit windy, like a tiny bit, just as we rounded that corner, honestly, is when the wind picked up. But you know what? I didn't even notice that, but yeah, it's perfectly clear. There's no smoke at all, which hasn't been the most common sight these last couple weeks. Which is really nice. Surprised, actually. It wasn't supposed to be very windy. Ahoy.
You're dripping river water right now?
No.
I saw you dip it in earlier.
I was just cleaning it. And then I filled this up out of my my water pouch. Yeah, it's river water, so what? Good to go. Well, we'll see. Only one of us is sick, Teslin. And it ain't me. You guys have a nice swim?
Yeah.
You guys feeling a bit chilly? No? It's really subtle, Kevin. I can't even tell you're shivering. Pardon?
You're gonna have to flip this thing.
Mission critical flip for the good of the guests.
You can cool off.
Yeah, the swim's nice. You're gonna push me against shore here. What is rafting like in September? Come back in a week and you'll find out. No, I jest. It's the same as it is in August, pretty much. I would say it's hot every day still in September. The level drops, the river starts to clear up, I think even a little more in September. But yeah, it's good all year. Is it? If anybody's feeling cold, I have extra layers as well. I have men's large and extra large layers though, which you might not have, Tesla. Well, I'm just saying, not every... Packing. September rafting is awesome. As the river gets low, it's a lot of fun guiding power rafts, trying not to hit rocks and stuff. Are there more paddle boats or power rafts at Kumsheen? It's about equal. I think we keep about 8 of each raft like good to go throughout the year. Maybe, I think we probably have more total paddle boats. Yeah, but we only ever need like 8 ready to go in action, basically. People do both. Occasionally people, like we offer all sorts of bookings for like people, you can power raft one day and then paddle raft the next day and you get it for like a super reduced price. I think we actually, I'm not sure, I'm not a pro, but I'm pretty sure we actually have a special on that on Canada Day long weekend for power and paddle combo. Just the power rafts are a lot more labor intensive to put together. We handmade, like the frames are handmade because we're the only company that uses boats like this anywhere in Canada. So we make all the frames, we have to put them all together. The tubes, they're few and far between. We patch them up so much. So it takes longer to build those. There's like probably 2 weeks that go on at the beginning of the year where all we do is build power rafts. And a paddle boat, I mean, we buy it, right? And we just have to affix the outside hand line. We have our own frames. You just throw a frame on it and it's pretty much good to go, hot to trot. This is Mother-in-Law Rapid. This one got its name because we used to have a guy that worked here, Willis. If you're watching, Willis, you can feel free to fact check me. Who actually got married on the resort. I think his last year would have been my first year. I can't remember if he worked a couple years, but my first year would have been his last year at Kumsheen. He'd gotten married years earlier, actually on the resort, to a girl that he'd met working at Kumsheen. And normally, when people meet like that, I don't know. I know lots of people that have met together at Kumsheen. Most of them are still together, going strong. Lots of long-term couples, actually, from Kumsheen romances. But they got together, they actually got married on the resort, which isn't all that common. And after they got married, Willis really, really wanted to take his mother-in-law rafting. She was pretty spooked the whole time. She hadn't wanted to go while they were dating, and then they decide that they'll make it happen. So she finally gets up the nerve, and 2 days after the wedding, they go rafting on a paddle boat. And when people are scared, normally we sit them right at the back of the paddle raft. It's really close to the guide. The guide can kind of chat them through it. And I guess Willis kind of let his guard down after the gorge. Started to relax a little bit, so did his mother-in-law. And in that rapid right there, she actually tumbled out of the boat. And while looking for something to grab onto, so she wouldn't fall so far, she reached out and grabbed onto Willis's life jacket. Hauled him in with her, they both fell in, and it was actually Willis's wife. That throwback them both and hauled them to shore. Or back to the boat rather, not to shore. Anyway, so to my understanding, their mother-in-law is yet to go rafting again since that incident, and now we call that rabid mother-in-law. Here we are, White Canyon, our nice float section. We swim here if we want. Are we on Ken? We are on Ken. Yeah, we do weddings. I think we actually have a wedding this year happening on the resort. Yeah, that's one of the things we do, especially in the fall and spring. Oh my God. I think everyone's staring at me while I chat with you. Especially in the fall and spring, in the shoulder seasons, we offer wedding packages. It's really cool. I've worked a wedding in Kumsheen before. It's pretty spectacular. I'm actually a bit bummed. I think I'll have to be at home while the wedding is happening at Kumsheen this year. Sometime in if my date for it is right, I'm not really sure. Yeah, but it's really, really cool seeing people get married on the resort. Occasionally they go rafting as part of it. Often they don't, just because the facilities themselves are quite nice. Is the cam only on Ken right now? It is only on Ken, this boat right here. So Ken is a bit more unique. It's got a rigid frame. This aluminum frame you can see is not what our other rafts have. They all have stitched together floorboards. So like right here, I don't know if you guys can see me, but the actual floor of the raft, rather than it being this welded aluminum, on the other boats is like fiberglass floorboards stitched together. So they bend a lot more. There's just not as much good solid material at the back to mount stuff to. Because here, I mean, we've got a Starlink, a giant battery, another mini router that routes from the Starlink, because the Starlink would shut like basically resets its IP every 2 hours. We have like chargers for multiple GoPros. There's a lot going on the raft. Now we'll eavesdrop on Tesla. But I think we're hoping to get more cams going on for other rafts as well, especially like paddle boats, maybe one on some other J-rigs. little bit, tiny bit ahead of schedule, so we get more time to float. When you are not working, I actually do. One of the best things with the live stream, I want to watch more, is it's funny. Like guiding, I think, like I've mentioned this a couple times, is guiding is often a very private thing. I've found it to be that way, where it's just you and the people that you're guiding, and I mean, you run it differently for them than you would for any other group that would come on any other given day, or at least I do, because everyone wants a different thing out of the trip, you know? But one thing that the live stream has really done awesome is everyone gets to watch all the other guides and how they work and the stories they tell, and I think it kind of causes everyone to up their game a little bit, you know, like work harder, try and guide better, and it's just cool to see how other people are doing it. They give you other ideas. Like for example, when Andrew, right, the owner of the company, was on the live stream the other day, I tuned in a lot, or more than I have, just because you don't get the chance otherwise to sit on someone else's boat. And when you are sitting on someone else's boat, at least what I found, like if I, on my days off, decide to go rafting and just sit on another guide's boat, it's harder for that guide to be themselves, you know, to do it authentically when I'm there, because you kind of feel like you're being watched, you know, and judged a little bit. But with the live stream, it doesn't, just because it's like a tiny GoPro and everyone's just usernames on the other side, you kind of still be open. So I don't know, I think that's a huge plus for the live stream. So I do tune in, mostly just to get ideas, or you know, see are we all running the same trip? And no, we're not. It's really cool, just how different it is depending on what guide's boat you're on. Okay, I'm afraid of getting a sunburn, so I have to go. I'm gonna change. You guys can enjoy the scenery. I don't mean to be mean, I'm sorry. Tesla never lies. She wouldn't do that. She has a too pure of heart. Someone said, since I'm technically the captain, can I officiate? I would love to officiate a wedding. That's one on my bucket list. So if you're thinking about getting married, you should request that. I bet I could get ordained online, even if my captaincy doesn't allow it. Yeah, it would be awesome. It could be like the maiden of the queen of the mist, or the maiden of the mist, whatever the Niagara Falls weddings that people do. But it'd be better because you'd be rafting. You wouldn't just be floating on some silly barge. I was giving Tesla a hard time, just for fun. What have I learned from other live streams? A bunch of different stuff. One thing, watching, especially from when I started, one thing that I'm really trying to get better at is being more, that I've gotten better at and that I'm noticing more from the live stream is just being more conversational, I guess. Like some guides watching spend most of their trip just chatting back and forth with the guests. Not talking as much about the area, but more getting to know them, which is really cool. I think that's quite a skill actually, getting to know people and not seeming kind of fake about it, I guess. Facetious isn't the right word, but like honestly wanting to get to know people. Like, and I always do, and sometimes I just feel like maybe that's not what they want to be chatted with. That's one thing. It's like just seeing how people kind of carry themselves on the raft. I learned that I always thought it's cool seeing how much other guides talk, like how much of the trip is actually taken up by them speaking out loud. I was kind of under the impression that I didn't talk very much. And now since I've started the live stream, other guides have informed me, in fact, yes, I talk a ton. But some guides do even like talk less, talk even more. And I try to not talk too much just because I feel like sometimes the river speaks for itself a little bit. But just like other stories that guests will tell, like I tuned into Andrew's live stream the other day and I heard about the creeping carnivorous pine, the ponderosa pine. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that one. I remember reading it actually in Bernie's guidebook, The Majestic Thompson River, which is actually an awesome book. But yeah, it's a pine tree whose specific types, you'll see them on the shore where their roots are really shallow. Most of them aren't even in the ground. And the reason they have such shallow roots is because they'll actually crawl. They don't actually tap the water out of the ground. They'll actually make their way from the river, and then the roots will basically walk the tree slowly back up to the hill where they hang out. And their bark gives off these, pheromone is the wrong word, but this scent that attracts young animals, small animals. And the pine tree will actually basically swallow up these animals. So it doesn't photosynthesize, but it just uses very little energy and eats rarely, moves slow. It's pretty cool. So I heard about that through Andrew's live stream. What made you choose Kumsheen? The internet people are thriving. Yeah, they're so lucky to have me. I'm just being berated with praise and yeah. How are the real life people doing? It's so many questions. It's crazy. And I get texts from Sam, right? I've probably gotten like 45 texts from Sam with questions, maybe 50 since the trip. Sam's our marketing manager, so she watches the stream, and so I'm not just staring at my phone the whole time. She texts me the questions that we're getting. Yeah, it's a lot. Sometimes I feel a bit crazy, and sometimes I get into a flow state. Yeah. But I like it. I don't know. I love answering the questions, to be honest with you. Don't tell Tesla and she'll try and take my job. What made me choose Kumsheen? Well, I wouldn't say that I chose Kumsheen. I wasn't exactly hotly in-demand raft guide so much as I was like a teenager without much going on. Kumsheen more chose me than anything else. But the reason I applied for Kumsheen in the first place was random. I was just looking for a job out of the city. Right out of high school, I wanted to move away. I knew that. I didn't know much else. I originally worked here in the coffee bar, making coffees and doing a bit of housekeeping. And then I came back the next year to do their guide school. And yeah, that's what I mean by they chose me. Our guide school had 11 people in it, 12 people. They hired 4 of us. So I was like very lucky to be chosen out of that group. And I don't know what I would have done if they wouldn't hire me. I suspect I would not be rafting. I think I would be working as I was going to do wildland firefighting maybe that year if it didn't work out. But yeah, I don't know. I can't actually imagine. I think if I work as a raft guide, I'll be working at Kumsheen no matter what. I don't see myself going anywhere else. This is the washing machine here. The entrance to it is a bit of a minefield right now for a power raft. But if you know where the rocks are, which I'm getting better at, you're good to go. And then it is just awesome. Oh, I think I fixed it. Is it still pointing slightly down? It's just swiveling around on this ball joint a bit too easy. I'm not really sure. You! River right. I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to. You'll see me throw this up at the bottom of the rapid. Double check. I used to write it on the tubes. raft every day. I wish. Close to. We're open for rafting every single day. Normally we have a trip every day, but there's an odd week where, like, say Monday or Wednesday or something, won't have anybody book in. But normally, for me as a guide, from kind of mid-June to end of August, I raft every single day. This is Rapid 17. You can see we can rerun this one. Not our most common rerun, but definitely doable. It's cool, we don't actually often eddy out right here. No, the mic did not get wet. That's good. I got a bit worried. I thought I was going to hurt you guys there. You guys have fell down. Sorry, I had to keep looking at that. Big water. Well, we're back at the bottom. Maybe you guys have just been staring at the gas can for a while. We're back at the bottom of Rapid 17. Tesla's doing a couple reruns here. We'll hang out at the bottom and just watch her go through. Oh, sorry, I don't want my head blocking the action. This rapid is so awesome. And kind of sneaky too, not always this good. This is definitely its prime right now. And the one after this will be real good as well. Terminator. Yeah, well, it was supposed to be awesome yesterday. That's I got the inside scoop. That's one of the reasons we're rerunning it today. Hopefully that's a pretty good angle for you guys of Tesla. You'll have to get this row, has to scooch back. He's sitting too close to the splashboard, Teslin. The buddy at the front is too close to the splashboard. No. Teslin. They need to scooch back. Teslans getting my message. Sometimes it's a bit hard to yell over engines and stuff. Yes, it is normal for the water to be so warm this time of year. 22 degrees today, I think the water is. That's not abnormal for us at all. It's very normal. bit quiet. I've been rafting up a little storm. This is our last rapid of the day. One that changes a lot. Why does it change a lot? Terminator. Well, Terminator, like Rapid 17, these rapids are really close to the Fraser. So the Terminator is affected. The rapid here is affected by both the Thompson, the level of the Thompson, and the level of the Fraser. So I talked about gradient a little bit way earlier, and how gradient changes rapids, right? The steepness. So that's what happens in Terminator. So obviously as the Thompson changes, this does as well, with more or less water going through it. These rocks that are at the top get a little bit different, become shallower, deeper, which changes how the water moves. But the big factor is the Fraser River, right? Like I mentioned. So you can imagine when the Fraser's really low, the Thompson has to be descending a bit steeper because they meet at level, right? They have to be at the same level when they meet, at like the same actual physical height of water when they meet. So if the Fraser had no water in it, right, you can imagine how steep the Thompson would have to be in order to meet it. So when the Fraser is lower, it's a lot steeper on the Thompson side, and these last two rapids are the ones that get affected by it the most. Right now in August, the Fraser gets proportionally low, proportionally lower than the Thompson, which makes Terminator and Rapid 17 for that matter way. But I love Terminator. One of my favorite rapids for sure, especially this time of year. It just is so good. Weird. Looking at the live stream, seeing myself sitting down and chatting. Truly maniacal. Yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Definitely this weekend we'll have some more people out on the raft, and it'll be full. You're not allowed to do that though. How old do kids have to be to go rafting? So I believe we have trips that we offer that we can take kids as young as 8 on. For the gorge, maybe even 6. I'm not sure. I know you have to be, for paddle rafting, you have to be 90 pounds and 12 years old to go paddling down the Thompson. I believe you only have to be 10 to go power rafting. But for the gorge, but I'm pretty sure there's a trip we offer 8 years old. 6. I think you can be 6 and actually do from Spence's Bridge down to Shaw Springs, not through the Douglas Gorge. And then 8-year-olds, power rafting, I believe we can take down the gorge. But if you're thinking about taking kids rafting, just call the office, check in. Weight is a factor for paddle rafting as well, because you have to be able to fit into an adult life jacket, which is over 90 pounds. But I love kids rafting is the best. The best guest is a kid. They just have so much fun. They're screaming the whole time. Also, kids have the best questions, other than you guys in the chat. But kids always have the most interested in the most amount of things. So they'll ask you like a billion questions, which is the best. Jet out in front of Tesla here. Get to the takeout. The most stressful part of my day. Successfully driving the boat onto the trailer. Look, my 2 friends awaiting my arrival. Good? All right. Well, that's us, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Hopefully like my sunglasses.
Say like stream ended, you might need to hit some more buttons.
Oh no.